this coup shook the continent of Africa in 2022. Burkina Faso, a landlocked nation in West Africa, symbolizes the region's persistent instability. The year 2022 stands out with two dramatic coups d'état that reshaped the political landscape. These events exposed deep-seated issues of governance, security, and the growing influence of extremist groups. The Sahel region, stretching across Africa just south of the Sahara Desert, has long been a breeding ground for conflict. Burkina Faso, within this volatile region, has been particularly susceptible to extremism and political unrest. The country's porous borders, weak governance, and widespread poverty have created a fertile environment for militant groups. The convergence of these factors has contributed to a cycle of violence that has displaced millions. The international community must recognize these challenges and work collaboratively to address the root causes of instability. The escalating violence and political instability have had a devastating impact on the people of Burkina Faso. The United Nations estimates that over 2 million people have been internally displaced, creating a humanitarian crisis. The seeds of the January 2022 coup were sown in the fertile ground of a growing Islamist insurgency. Beginning in 2015, extremist groups linked to Al-Qaeda and ISIS began to gain a foothold in the country. Their attacks grew increasingly brazen, targeting civilians, security forces, and government institutions. The government's response was widely perceived as inadequate, fueling frustration within the military. This discontent culminated in the January coup, led by Lieutenant Colonel Paul Henri Sandaogo Damiba. The Islamist insurgency in Burkina Faso is a symptom of a wider regional crisis engulfing the Sahel. The vast, ungoverned spaces of the Sahel have become a haven for extremist groups. The international community must recognize the interconnectedness of this regional crisis and work collaboratively to support Sahel countries. The January 2022 coup, while initially met with mixed reactions, was largely seen as a consequence of the government's failure to address the escalating security crisis. The fragile stability established after the January coup proved short-lived. By September 2022, a new wave of discontent had swept through the military. Captain Ibrahim Traoré emerged as the leader of this discontent, orchestrating a second coup. Traoré and his supporters accused Damiba of being out of touch with the realities on the ground. The September coup highlighted the deep divisions within the Burkinabe military. A key trigger for the September coup was a devastating rebel ambush on September 26, 2022. The speed and efficiency with which Traoré and his faction executed the September coup demonstrated the deep-seated dissatisfaction within the military. The international community responded with condemnation, urging a return to constitutional order. The key actors in these coups had varied motivations, from addressing security concerns to personal ambitions. Understanding these motivations is crucial to comprehending the broader implications for Burkina Faso. The coup in Burkina Faso sent shockwaves through the nation and beyond. Citizens, politicians, and international observers all had their eyes fixed on the unfolding events. In the immediate aftermath of the coup, the situation on the ground took a turn for the worse. Violence escalated rapidly, with clashes breaking out in several regions. The security situation became increasingly volatile, leaving many in fear for their safety. The long-term implications of the coup remain uncertain. The political landscape of Burkina Faso has been dramatically altered, and the path forward is fraught with challenges. Questions about governance, stability, and the future of democracy in the country loom large. In light of these developments, there has been a growing plea for international support. The people of Burkina Faso are calling on the global community to help restore peace and stability. The need for solidarity and assistance has never been more urgent.